Hello, welcome back to this new episode. In this episode we'll be finishing off our hoodie by creating the hood and the pockets. So we'll go ahead and do the pockets first because they're going to be pretty quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these red tools for an inside polygon that will allow me to stitch my pocket onto the hoodie. I'm going to left click and I'm going to create something that's about 200 by 200, and then actually I'm going to do about 150 by 150, and this is going to be where the pocket's base is going to be. As you can see, that's going to give us some decently sized pockets. Might even say that's a bit too big. We'll try 125 by 125, and that's a bit more like it. And now we're going to just quickly create the shape. So what we're going to do is I'm going to split this at about 50 for the shorter line, and the same here, so the shorter line's at the bottom. And then I'm going to delete this point so we get this nice line here. Then I'm going to split this into about 4 lines, and we're just going to move these points around so we get a nice slight curve for a pocket shape, and I think that will just about do really. So we'll convert these curves into points, into curve points, and then I'm also going to split the lines on these two sides to the size of this, because we can't actually stitch the pocket garment to this line, as it will generally always go to the line of the actual garment. So I'm going to split this as the short line of 125. We'll do the same here, 125. And now our pockets will be able to join up. And now the simplest way to create our pockets is to go to the polygon creating tool, and we'll just connect the dots. So I'll start this one, go across, go down, go across, up. And now we have these red dots which we converted into curve points at that location, which just allows us to simply place a point over the top, connect it all up, and then the great thing about that is when we bring it down and we convert this to a curve point, we'll have the same curve. And then we just need to stitch, 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 but we don't stitch the curve bit, as the pocket wants to look like it's open. So there we have our pocket, and as you can see it's not on the cotton material, so we'll just apply that now, and then we'll copy it, mirror paste, and do the exact same of stitching the top to the top of the pocket, the bottom to the bottom, and sides to sides. Simulate, and now we have our pockets on the hoodie. And I will redo the zip bit back up. As you can see, our hoodie is coming along pretty nicely. Now the only really thing that's missing is the hood, and it's quite important on a hoodie, so we will get to creating that now. So the hood needs to join on this curve, and this curve. So we're going to create the overall shape, and we need the calculator for that, as we want it to be of length 116.77 plus 128.5, 245.27 plus 116.77. So that's the length we need it to be. Now the shape's actually a little bit different. The shape needs to come up here like this, and then along here. So that's hard to describe, but I will show you what I mean. So I'm going to get the polygon creation tool, and we'll start by just following these points, and then we'll go down here just to get the shape of the hood. We'll go up in a curve and then join that back to the beginning and just move this up. Now dragging this, I'm just going to straighten the points up, which is about there. And now I'm going to create more of a curve for the hood, but we also need to now sort the lengths out. So this can be curved straight away, and that should follow the very same curve of that, and that's 117.57, 116.77. That's close enough really. We could push it down by 1mm, and that'll be close enough really. And now we want this side to be half of that length. So we'll move this up by 23.1, and again, move all this in to create a curve. So we'll curve it by converting these to curve points, and that is the side of our hood. So it's a very weird shape, but it is how we join it. Now what we do is sew this part to this part, and then this half we want to sew into half of this back collar. So we need to split this in a uniform split of 2, figure out which side is which, so we want the outside here. And then before we simulate, we're going to just quickly copy and paste it, do the same. We want a mirror paste out the head there. Stitch, stitch, I think that, nope. And then we want to stitch the back of the hood together and simulate. And that gives us our hood shape. Okay, so it's looking like the hood's a bit small on our character. So to fix that, we can simply just increase the size of the hood in the garment here. We'll increase this by about 25. Resimulate, and that will increase the size of the hood. Which we then just kind of bring over the top here. Okay, it's looking like our hood's very thin as well. So we can use the curve here. So we should have really done that as a symmetric paste. Alright, symmetric paste, the back to the back. And at the back, we want to extend this curve out a bit. Simulate. And now, as you can see, our hood fits a little better. And we're going to do the same for the front of the hood. We're just going to bring it out a little bit. Okay, so now we have our hood and it's fitting pretty well. In the next tutorial, we'll be retopologizing and baking normal maps and ambient occlusion maps using the hoodie once we've got a nice base pose with all its wrinkles. However, for the Marvelous Designer tutorial here, we have officially created our hoodie now. And we'll just make sure that we set everything to cotton. We'll add a little bit of weight to everything as well. So if we go to our cotton fabric detail, I'm going to add a little bit more density, dampening. And now I will select over everything. I'm going to put in 10 as the particle distance. And I recommend before re-rendering at a smaller particle distance, saving the project. So I'm going to quickly do that. And when we click simulate, you'll notice that the particle distance has made the wrinkles so much more refined, and that will mark the end of the creation of our hoodie. If you didn't want the hoodie open either, you can just delete these sewings together, or if you wanted it partially open, you could split these hoodie lines, and we'll split it at about, let's say 300, 400, 400. We'll do the same on this side. Oh, that's gone the wrong way. 400. We can sew up the bottom below the 400. Sew up the collar on the bottom. And this will act as if it is partially zipped up. And there we have it. There is our hoodie. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If your opinions or otherwise you have any comments, questions, suggestions or advice, just leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. There's also Twitter you can hit me up on, which is at Sam_BA_Jones97. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Again, for those creating the game ready one, I will see you in the next one. Thanks guys. Bye.